Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take 5. And we are in Leviticus chapter 4. Verse 1, the Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, when anyone sins unintentionally and does what is forbidden in any of the Lord's commands." Okay, now stop there for a second. It says unintentionally. So this is somebody that's not trying to sin, but they still wind up sinning anyway. Verse 3. If the anointed priest sins, so even the priests were capable of sin, bringing guilt on the people, he must bring to the Lord a young bull without defect as a sin offering for the sin he has committed. He is to present the bull at the entrance to the tent of meeting before the Lord. He is to lay his hand on its head and slaughter it there before the Lord. Then the anointed priest shall take some of the bull's blood and carry it into the tent of meeting. He is to dip his finger into the blood and sprinkle some of it 7 times before the Lord in front of the curtain of the sanctuary. The priest shall then put some of the blood on the horns of the altar of fragrant incense that is before the Lord in the tent of meeting. The rest of the bull's blood he shall pour out at the base of the altar of burnt offering at the entrance to the tent of meeting. He shall remove all the fat from the bull of the sin offering, all the fat that is connected to the internal organs, both kidneys with the fat on them near the loins, and the long lobe of the liver, which he will remove with the kidneys, just as the fat is removed from the ox sacrificed as a fellowship offering. Then the priest shall burn them on the altar of burnt offering. But the hide of the bull and all its flesh, as well as the head and legs, the internal organs and the intestines, that is all the rest of the bull, you must take outside the camp to a place ceremonially clean where the ashes are thrown and burn it there in a wood fire on the ash heap. All right. Now that's all I'm going to read in this chapter. But you said you thought you were getting ripped off. Well, you can go back and read this stuff, but this is what we're dealing with. It's a lot of blood, a lot of animal blood. And this is for the priest. He's got to bring a young bull. And this chapter goes on talking about different animals that different groups have to bring when they sin. But the point is that it required blood. Sin always required blood. And our sin certainly required blood. And guess whose blood our sin required? The Son of God. And this is the season where we think about that. And I want you to think about that. How much God loved us that he, like John 3:16, God loved us so much that he gave his only son and he shed his blood for us. All right. So anyway, back in the Old Testament, it was animals, but it could never be enough. In our day, it's Jesus, and one time was enough. Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad we're not doing sacrificing all these animals anymore? Hey, I love you. We'll see you next time, and we'll be in chapter 5, verse 1 on the next edition of Take 5.